Hey, what's up guys? My name is Matt Zimmerman. I'm the CEO of Beast Code. I'm a super nerd, have a software background, and I'm going to talk to you about Beast Core, our flagship product today. So when you launch the program, this is the first thing you see. It's a list of the digital twins that you have access to. In this case, we have one loaded up, the USS Never Sleeps, which is a spaceship we built for demos like this. On the right side, all the different options for the things you can visualize. So we're going to show the hull, and then we're going to select to visualize all the mechanical and electrical systems. We're now loading in these different systems. These are typically built from CAD, so we'll work with different shipyards or different OEMs. We'll get access to the different models that they have available to us, technical documentation, databases, and we'll aggregate it all together to create a visualization like you see today. This is automatically cool because if you're on board a ship or you're maintaining an aircraft, you can actually never see all the different systems and how they're interconnected. You can't see all the pipes, all the cables, and how they all work together. So just having a visualization of how all these things are working together is incredibly powerful. We're using game-based controls, so WASD to move around, the mouse to turn what you're looking at. Everything is fully interactive, so I can click on this component and I can pull up information about it. Information includes naming conventions, part numbers, manufacturers, catalog numbers. Any type of information that you might want to see can be shown on this panel, and it's all fully configurable. We can also link to third-party applications like PLM, where this information can be authored or updated, and we can pull that in real time. We can also link with things like condition-based maintenance, other applications that are doing analysis in the background, and then pop up notifications for the warfighter. Another one of our basic capabilities is search. So in the early days of Beast Code, we'd get phone calls from shipyards trying to identify where a valve or a pump is located. And they're only using paper documentation. That's all they have available to them. They're like, hey, we've been looking for this for hours. Beast Code, can you help us? So with the search bar, you can type in anything you know, whether it's a name, part number, and we'll provide you a list of the different components. You can click on it. I'll zoom right to it. All right, and because everything is fully interactive, we can actually visualize different types of alignments. So the colors that we're looking at right now are the system designations, but we can change the visualizer to show what the alignment of the weapon system is. So we call this static flow. Anything that's blue indicates that it's on and operating. Anything that's yellow is off or closed. So in our visual, we have a few valves that are closed, and then the pipe between them is actually white, indicating that there's no flow. And because everything is fully interactive, we can actually choose one of these components, like this valve, and we can close it, and we can see what the effect is on the actual ship. So we close that valve, and we can see there's a whole bunch of white now, indicating that those things no longer have flow. And we're showing you this on a simple scale, but when you're looking in terms of an aircraft or a ship, we're able to evaluate all of the fluid systems, all the electrical systems, all of the networking, all the air systems, which is actually useful from the standpoint of maintenance, because if you have to tag out a valve and you have to determine what valves to close in order to isolate things mechanically, or what breakers to flip to electrically isolate things, that's a process today that takes a long time when you're using paper documents. And with this tool, you actually just click on a component and have it make that decision for you and give you all the indicators that you need. And even more powerful, when you start to aggregate all the different maintenance activities that are going on, you can actually start seeing the state of the entire ship or the aircraft. What is the mission availability and the readiness level based on that maintenance? And you can take it a step further to actually determine opportunistic maintenance. So because we have all these things that are isolated, what are components that you might be maintaining a few weeks from now that you could just do right now? The other cool thing is the linkages to technical documentation. So a lot of places are still using paper-based products for tech manuals and schematics. We're able to, one, ingest all those paper-based products and scan them using some machine learning algorithms that we have here at Beast Code that interpret those like humans do and tag them to each one of the 3D models. And it goes a step further than just saying, hey, we found the name of this component and we're linking it up to the 3D model. Once we find more information about it, we might have a valve that's named X, but once we identify that it's a ball valve, we can then link it to the tech manual for ball valves, and then all the knowledge contained within that manual, we can start to pull out as well. So we might now have different symptoms and how do we react to it, or different parts lists that are used for supply and ordering. So super powerful that we're not having like a subject matter expert or a data analyst that is tagging these things together, all done with automation. And so I can click on one of these components, pull up the schematic. We can see the hyperlinks that are located in here, and I can click on the different components to zoom to it. So in this case, I'm going to zoom to this valve in the 3D viewer. And we can take that a step further and actually look for the pump, which is the next thing in line with it, and open it in Avatar, which is a first-person walkthrough. So we're going to go to the bridge of the USS Never Sleeps. So now instead of looking at the weapon system from the view of a third person view, we're actually on board and we're walking around in a first person view now. And I have all the same capabilities that I had before. So if I come over here to this power panel, I can click on the component, I can get information about it. It's linked to all of my technical documentation, so I can pull up manuals and schematics. And then the added value was we're actually searching for one of the pumps. It gives me a navigation path. So starting from the bridge, how do I locate that component? So now we're going into the room that has the pump located, and this is what we were looking for. And again, I can come back in here, I can pull up information, I can go to the tech manuals, I can pull up the schematic, and then I can go back to the 3D viewer. And really the power is just having all these different visuals, different ways to look at weapon systems, whether it's looking at their systems and their interconnections, or walking through in a first person view, or having access to all the technical documentation all in one spot, and being able to readily swap between those things is a huge time saver.